Azak. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce to you a fellow talk show host, a man who I have marched with in Yerushalayim, or marched with in Washington, to be, on behalf of Jewish causes, a man that I have seen who with me faced off American Nazis on behalf of Jewish causes. If there was ever one of the Chasidei Umot Ha'olam, one of the righteous Gentiles of the world, it is him. A great man, a historic man, and a friend of the Jews in Israel. My great pleasure and honor to introduce Curtis Sliwa.
But haven't we seen this before, ladies and gentlemen, the double Dutch? Doesn't matter what your political stripe. There was Bush 41 and Secretary of State Baker. What fair-weathered friends they were to Israel, as they held the hand of the Prince of Saudi, who eventually was to bless the 19 hijackers, our true enemies of America. And yet we continue to befriend those who each and every day, when they pray to their God, wish death and destruction to our way of life, to Americans, to Jews, and who would wipe the state of Israel off the face of the map. So why should we not understand that this is the political game of using the Jews? When I went to PS 114 in Canarsie, Brooklyn, I was always told the Jews, they're bright, they're smart, they're hardworking, they're intelligent. Look at Arista, no question. Intellectually intelligent, but when it comes to pragmatic common sense, a bunch of schmucks. Let me be the one to use that term. And let me tell you why. You get played for suckers. In the streets, we call it gaming you. Here it is, Barack Obama, the Mashiach of the Democratic Party comes along. And they say, you're running against Hillary Rodham Clinton. Well, let me tell you something. Axelrod and the self-hating Israeli Jew Rahm Emanuel tell him there's something that you have to do. If you expect to beat Hillary, you've got to make the trip to Israel. You got to go to the Wailing Wall. You've got to daven there. You've got to put the note into Hashem saying, Hashem, I'm hedging my bet. If JC doesn't bless me, please make me the next president. The Jews will love that. They'll embrace you. And while you're there, you go to Yad Vashem. You wear the yarmulke. You say the words that we create for you on the teleprompter. And the Jews will love you. They'll embrace you. They'll say, you know, George W. Bush was our all-time friend, but this may not be too bad. It's a guy that the Arabs, the Muslims, and the Palestinians like. So what will they do? They'll write you the check. They'll vote for you. 75% will vote for you. And the Jews will raise you the money to beat Hillary and then John McCain. And then what did some of the Jews say? Look at John McCain. He's old. He's feeble. He's got anger management issues. The Arabs, the Muslims, the Palestinians, they hate him. Some people think he's Meshuggah. He's titched. He's ubats. He's got all the furniture upstairs rearranged in the wrong rooms. Look at Obama. He's the perfect candidate. And then the Jews elect Barack Obama the President of the United States. With their wealth, with their influence, with their vote. And what does the fair-weathered friend do? He turns on you. He turns on America. He goes before the Muslim worshippers, the Arab speakers in Cairo, and he impales himself on a crucifix and on a menorah. And he apologizes for Israel. He apologizes for the United States. And he basically says to the Arabs and Muslims of the world, don't worry about it. You have a friend in Washington, D.C. His name is Barack Hussein Obama. He apologizes for America. He apologizes for Israel. He apologizes for democracy, for freedom, for free speech, against totalitarianism, despotism, and anti-Semitism. But then all of a sudden, the Schumers and the Wieners of the world say, hey, Barack, we got midterm elections. You got to make nice to our people. We got to get the checks. We got to get their vote, or the Republicans will control the House and the Senate. So we've already seen the rope-a-dope. Next week, Barack Obama will meet privately with influential Jewish congressmen. You say no to Barack and no to Hillary Rodham Clinton. Let me just take a swig real quick. And what a piece of work Hillary was. What a piece of work. She goes to the West Bank. She embraces. She lip locks. She virtually makes love to Sliwa Arafat. She says, oh, I didn't understand what she was saying. If I had only known that she was saying that, oh, the Israeli Defense Forces were gassing the children, gassing the Palestinian women, I would have walked out on that. And then all of a sudden, she went to Yad Vashem. She went to the Wailing Wall. But there were many Jews who said, wait a second. You embraced Arafat. You embraced that person who would wipe us off the face of the map. So all of a sudden, the call went to Joe Lieberman. You got to tell your wife, Hadassah, to get the women's group, Hadassah, to embrace Hillary as the greatest Gentile in the history of America. In fact, if she had been a Jew born in Chicago, she would actually be greater than Golda Meir herself. And what did Hadassah do? They did exactly as they were told. And now, all of a sudden, you helped elect her to the U.S. Senate. You wrote her the checks. You voted for her en masse. Many of you actually sided with her against Barack Obama. She became Secretary of State, and she turned on the Jewish state. She bit you in the tuchus with bile dripping from her lips, the voice of treason. And she hid behind her husband, saying, but you know we've been friends of the state of Israel. Jews, wake up. Israel, wake up. You're on your own. You cannot depend on Gentiles who treat you as fair-weathered friends. Let me finish on this. Barack Obama, because of Palestinian and Israeli questions and issues, if that's resolved, will Muslims stop killing Muslims in Afghanistan? No. Will Shia stop killing Sunnis and Sunni Shias in Iraq? No. Will Muslims stop killing Muslims in Pakistan? No. So, ladies and gentlemen, whether you believe in Hashem, whether you believe in JC, whether you're a tree hugger, an atheist or an agnostic, you had better stand by the state of Israel, because that is the last sanctuary for Jews. If you depend on Gentile politicians, you are doomed to not have learned from the failures of past generations. Do not trust the Democrats. Do not trust the Republicans. Make them prove themselves to the state of Israel and not be the fake, phony frauds that they are. Thank you.